Hello and welcome to His and Hers Movie Podcast. I am one half of your podcasting duo, J Pig the Hunter, or am I the hunted if I'm the pig? Podcasting out of southwestern Pennsylvania, and joining me tonight, as always, is the other co-host, Carly, podcasting out of southwestern Pennsylvania as well. Tonight we're covering The Hunt. So Carly, how are you doing?
I am mad because you said you are the hunter and you were J Pig, and I was going to say that you would be the hunted because you were J Pig, but instead you went and said it yourself. So I am upset.
I stole your joke essentially.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know, I'm fine, I guess. Life is what it is right now, and I am just getting on through it like everyone else. Not a whole lot going on, obviously, besides just watching movies. I mean, the plus side is I've been watching quite a bit more movies, it seems like, so that is nice. But other than that, like I said, not a whole lot going on over here. How about you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm, trying to stay inside besides going to work. It's funny because both me and you, our jobs aren't affected. We're considered essential. So everybody else is like out of work talking about quarantine day number 6 and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm like, day number 6 of work.
Yeah, people are annoying with that too. They're like, if you're going out in public, you're part of the problem. I'm like, I literally work with 8 people and I'm not going to quit my job. So I don't and it seems like every job suddenly became essential too.
Yeah, I think they're more talking about,
open.
I think they're more talking about people who are going, out to just go out to the store, to the gas station, stuff like that.
Either way, dude, it's like none of this, I'm still around people, so it's like technically we're part of the problem too. It's like there's no way to make everyone just stay in the house, so it's
annoying, they could do that.
I think it's all gonna be like, in my opinion, everyone's just gonna have to go back to work eventually, and it's just gonna be like, it is what it is. Like, they can't just keep everyone out of work for the rest of eternity.
I mean, they can if they pay them, right?
Yeah, but that's gonna, you just can't do, yeah, if they pay them, sure.
Yeah. It hurts the economy, of course, but I think that's there are places that are doing complete full quarantines, I think. So it's interesting. I'm not my main concern is having enough money to live, you know what I mean? But
Oh yeah, mine too.
I don't mind staying home. I'm cool with that, but I just need to make money. So I'm actually feel pretty fortunate right now. I joked about the fact that people are staying home and stuff like that, and I still have to go to work. But I'm actually fortunate that I still have a job right now, when a lot of people don't.
Yeah, me too. That's why, I hope I get to keep that job.
Yeah, well, what do you mean keep that job?
Because they're laying people off at my job right now, so I've been pretty panicked.
How many people?
They laid off. They finally got this a replacement for our one girl who was pregnant.
Yeah, but that lady was just the temp, though.
Okay, you didn't let me finish. And then there was another, there's been a few that have been laid off. That's what I'm trying to get at.
In your department?
No, in the other departments. But I'm just saying, the workflow has drastically gone down.
Yeah,
so
everybody's ours has too. We've laid off 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I don't think that, but if you get laid off, you can still get some kind of, I don't think you can just get laid off though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. We were looking at our contract today, and that's
really
what it seemed like, yes. Or you can bump someone out of their job, which is completely dirty in my opinion, to do that to somebody.
Do it.
Well, I would do it. I need my job. I'm not gonna lie. I need to work. I, live alone, and to other people, this doesn't seem to be a huge deal because they all have families to support them. But yeah, I would honestly do it. I'm just saying it's I think it's kind of messed up. I didn't realize that was the thing until I started working there. But
this is awfully depressing.
Yeah, can we talk about other things?
Yeah.
How was your week?
I mean, that was part of my week. Like, I've just been going to work, and it's been dead at work, and I don't know, like this coronavirus thing is one of the. I mean, I think that other than maybe 9/11, this is the most sort of impactful thing that's ever happened to me in this country since I've been born.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I do remember when like the Katrina thing happened, like that affected a lot of people, and it was like worldwide depression for not worldwide, but at least like countrywide depression a little bit, like because everybody was like that hurricane seemed really, 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 really bad from my memories. But other than that, it's 9/11. That was the one, 9/11, and then the year or two after with the war and stuff like that. And then pretty much radio silence since then. It's been kind of pretty easy. I think personally, I've underappreciated like just regular life.
Yep, me too. I mean, I did like those two things you mentioned, the hurricane and 9/11. I barely really remember them. And even like with the hurricane, I do remember that. But even then, it's like that didn't really seem to matter to me or anyone in my life. You know what I mean? Mm. So this is like actually a worldwide problem. So I feel like it's very different from even those two things. Because even 9/11, it's like brought the whole states together, but it was just an incident that happened in New York and around those areas. So it's like it's not like every single state was actually affected by it, but besides the fact that they were devastated by it happening and angry and came together.
I also mean just like the way it changed life, because all of a sudden, you had police at your schools with like metal detectors, and like you had like all these scares about terrorism and like anthrax and stuff, and we would go through drills in school if there was like a terrorist attack and stuff like that. I just mean like to where it invaded your regular life, and it was like everybody was so paranoid back then too. Like we thought literally that people were just gonna start like doing it again, or like taking it like suicide bombing schools and stuff like that. It was like insane, so I remember it being like a huge life-changing thing at the time. But other than that, I don't really have any things that like, this is crazy. Like everything's shut down. Like the roads are empty. There's no forms of entertainment other than what you have in your house. So I just never thought that I would see the US like that, so it's shocking. And it's scary, but at the same time, I think that like the silver lining in all this is once everything goes back to normal, which it will. Like I truly believe that everything will go back to normal eventually. I think that we all will appreciate regular life and things that we do a little bit more. So, if anything, it made me realize like once we have everything back to normal, how much more I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So try to look on the bright side of things, hopefully it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. The fatality rate is not as high as some other viruses. So that's good. And then, it always could be worse. So I'm just trying to look on the bright side and looking for a brighter day. Yeah. So what else did you do this week? I watched a lot of movies. Again. I've been killing it right now.
I didn't watch as many as I did the last show, but I think we had a bigger gap that last show. But at the same time, I watched a decent amount. So, that's been nice to come home and just watch a movie and relax. It's one of those things where I have like 2 podcasts this week, so like 4 of the things I watch were for the other podcast. So there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've really done is watch movies. Haven't gone to the store really lately. I'm pretty stocked up on food, and haven't had to get gas lately either, which is nice.
Yeah, gas is a lot cheaper right now too.
Yeah, but all I've done is really go to work, so it's like usually I have to get gas like once a week or halfway through, or once every half a week, week and a half.
There's the 6:15 train.
Yeah, shut up, dude. 6:15. Yeah, so that's been nice. Need to get gas tomorrow though, probably, but.
Again, I'm just horrible as a host. I literally start things and never finish them. So, it is March 25th today. So just so you know, because I wanted to start time stamping or date stamping these things, and I failed again. Yeah, but
now you didn't because you remembered at least.
Yeah, but it's like all awkward because it's in the middle of like an intro. So
no.
Whatever. But yeah, so I mean, one thing that I think that when you talk about your week and saying how boring and lame everything is, and not specifically not acknowledging one of the most important aspects of your week, and that was that we recorded another MRE video.
Oh yeah, well that was like at midnight. I completely forgot about that. We did do that. And was it good? Was it not? You guys will have to find out once J Pig puts up the vid.
Yeah, I gotta edit it still. I haven't even started yet.
But yeah, we did do that, guys. So of course, if you have not subscribed to our His and Hers YouTube channel, I think we still have like 40 some on there subscribed. But it'd be nice to get up to 100 at least. So do that, and we promise we'll be making more videos. We have more MREs to do, and whenever things go back to normal, we'll do out and abouts and all that jazz. So yeah, we did do that, and I think it went well. And like I said, stay tuned to see if the actual food itself went well or not.
Yeah, I think that it might be a little bit shorter of a video because we knew a little bit more about the MRE and we didn't have to walk through the entire thing. But shorter isn't necessarily bad. That other one was a little bit long. So check that out. I'll probably say about a week from now it should be up.
Yeah.
And then the other announcement that we're going to make is that we have an episode of Netflix and Chill coming out. So stay tuned to that. Which we haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah, we're
back.
See, some people thought Netflix and Chill was completely dead, but it's not completely dead. It's just on the back burner a little bit because we like doing this more. But now that this thing has like, this was mainly theatrical films and like new VOD stuff. So it's like if there's more stuff coming out on Netflix, maybe we'll go back to Netflix and Chill a little bit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we still want to keep this semi-weekly though, if we can. And yeah, so I guess we should get into what we watched this week.
That we should.
All right. What'd you watch?
All right. So first up, this is one of the ones I watched for a future pod that I'm going to be recording on Saturday, actually. The Movie versus Movie podcast, and that is The Good Son. Forget what year this is. It's from like 93 or 94, somewhere around there. But yeah, The Good Son, of course, with Macaulay Culkin, evil child movie. It's one of those nostalgic movies for me, really. I used to watch it quite a bit growing up. It was always on TV. My mom always really liked it, so we would watch it together. And more of a, I guess, psychological thriller in a way than horror. But I think there's a lot of good horrific elements to it. So I've always enjoyed it. I think, like I said, it's a depressing type of movie too. Just the music in it, what happens to Elijah Wood at the beginning. It's really sad. Few moments are just like
I always
super,
forget that that's Elijah
sad.
Wood in it because he's so, like a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Elijah Wood's another one of those actors. I used to think he was just a kid actor and he didn't do anything else. And then when I grew up, I realized he was a ton of stuff. you were the opposite. You
Yeah.
knew about him.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he was a kid actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I always seen him in a bunch of stuff when he was an adult. Or like a, 18, 19.
Teenager.
Not really, kind of.
Yeah, to say kid actor is actually not even a good representation. I mean, like, I just thought he only did this movie because I don't think I ever even I don't even know what else he acted in when he was around that age. But yeah, at this point, I've seen him in a few things, and I know he, always has projects going on. But yeah, The Good Son, I enjoy that movie. I think it's a good one I like to revisit. But like I said, it's got a depressing vibe throughout the entire thing, pretty much. So you kind of have to be in the mood for it. Back then, it didn't really matter to me that much, but now I'm like, oh, this movie's kind of downerish for the most part. But I like it. Then after that, I watched Orphan from 2009. Hadn't watched that one quite a while. That's another one I watched a lot whenever it first came out. I remember it first came out, a lot of people were talking about it in school and just in general. It was kind of the big horror movie hit back in 2009. It seemed like a lot of people really dug that one. And yeah, I like that one as well. That's one I picked to compare to The Good Son because I think it's got a lot of similar elements, of course. Orphan being, of course, about another evil child of sorts, or is it?
See, that one is a film, like you said, it was like the popular movie. 2009 was when I was like just getting into the YouTube community, maybe 2008, but mainly as just a viewer. And I remember the one distinction I always remember from that era is like nobody liked anything. Like, yeah, it was crazy. Like,
including Orphan.
Well, it was just another one. Like, nobody talked about it. You know what I mean? So it was like, I don't remember anybody talking about that one until a few years later when it hit Walmart's dump bin, and then it was like considered a little gem. But yeah, like nobody liked movies back then. Like everybody just complained about movies. And I used to do that too. Like I used to like be like, yeah, F remakes and stuff like that. Like watching.
Yeah, me too.
Be like, this guy knows what he's talking about and stuff. Like just a young like 18-year-old or whatever. And it was funny because like I remember when Jennifer's Body came out, because that had to be around the same time, right? 2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, like everybody hated on that one too. Like it was like they're like, these people are ruining horror and stuff like that. Diablo Cody's ruining horror.
I do remember that. I remember people saying, oh, Jennifer's Body, all it's doing is like sexualizing what's her name? Who was that? Megan Fox in that movie. Yeah, it was like, oh, this movie's just another reason to show like a hot girl on the screen. And I didn't see that one though back then. I watched
Megan Fox was really hated back then too by most communities. She was just like she was like what's the girl's name from Twilight?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, she was like her. Like everybody just like thought she was a horrible actress and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I really like Jennifer's Body, though, as well. That's too. One, like I said, though, I didn't see that until a few years ago, so I wasn't, I actually didn't want to watch it back then because I remember people thinking it was a total joke. But...
It's weird because I always thought that movie was a werewolf movie. Forever. I was just like, it just seemed like a werewolf movie to me.
It's like Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, that's what I thought of, but it isn't. It's like a demon film or something, or a possession film or something.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so, yeah, that's a good one. Orphan is also a good one. Vera Farmiga's in that, of course. That's probably the first movie I ever saw her in. And it's weird because she seems, like, so young in that now, even though,
in Dead Silence?
She doesn't really... What?
Is she in Dead Silence?
I have not seen that.
James Wan's movie.
Wait, maybe I did.
That's an underrated gem right there.
I might have seen that. I don't remember it, though. And I don't remember if she's...
She might not be. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I think I did see that one. I don't remember any of it, though, so I can't really say. But after that, I checked out a movie, an 85 move, if you will, called The Deadly Intruder. This is, like, pretty much a slasher movie, very lesser-known slasher film that I just happened upon, and watched it. It had it was like the crappy VHS quality, of course, but I actually liked it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece of a film or anything like that, but it was just kind of like a fun, had that like Halloween ripoff vibe to it. It was about pretty much a mental patient escapes the asylum, and then he's like stalking this girl from, outside her house. She kind of lives in the middle of nowhere, and she has a few friends over for dinner, including a love interest, but then of course they leave for the night, and then the dude's just stalking her outside, and then eventually, goes in for the attack. And yeah, I liked it. I thought it was solid. There was actually a few solid kills in it. Of course, there were sort of those typical off-screen kills, but you got that a lot of slashers anyway back then. But I actually thought the kills were decent in it. It was a little bit ridiculous at times. Some of the acting wasn't that great, and story-wise, it wasn't, obviously the most original or the best thing ever, but it was one of those 85 movies I was kind of happy to come across, because 85, really, all the movies that are not as well known have not been the greatest, in my opinion, so this one was interesting. One of those ones I probably would have never seen or heard of if it hadn't been for me, gonna do this 85 show, so that was cool. And I think you should check that out, just for the sake of checking it out.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it on the Midnight Movie Watches, the Facebook group watches, which I've been doing a ton of. I forgot to mention that. I think I've done 4 or 5 now, and not many people actually show up to these. A couple of people, but they're fun. Just last night, I'll talk about it in my what we watched. Good.
Yeah. And then after that, I watched crap. Oh my god. Oh.
You watched crap?
No, I deleted my whole list. Okay, here it is. Never mind. Thank God. No, I watched another 85 movie that was, again, pretty decent, and that was Murderlust. You had mentioned this one to me, saying it was similar to Confessions of a Serial Killer in a way, and I do agree. I feel like this one was actually a little bit better, honestly, than that movie. One I would like to rewatch, because I kept getting interrupted, I believe, by you calling me. So there is that. But no, I liked it. Again, it's just another movie where you're following a guy who is a serial killer, and he kind of is trying to live a normal life, but then he's killing people in the background. So it's one of those disturbing films, and again, it's another one that I wasn't aware of ever, and I'm glad that I got to check it out for the sake of the show. So so far 85 movies, the lesser known ones, I've been doing well on, except until I got to this one, which was Horror on Highway 5. This movie sucked. Again, it was very low VHS quality that I was watching it on.
Do you remember Dave ranting about that one?
Yes, I thought, yeah, I did. And it was one that I wasn't even going to check out, but then they actually, I believe they added it to Tubi, because I don't recall it being on there.
It was
before.
On there, because I started it one night and didn't watch it. That's a Vinegar Syndrome release, so I'm surprised Tubi has a garbage transfer.
Yeah, it was, unless the movie, I don't know if it's just garbage in general. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't too good, but it was, it just was super low budgety, super horrible acting, super stupid dialogue. Everything in it was just stupid. It was really hard to pay attention to. Again, it's like a slasher of sorts, and it's just, the 80s, they have their so bad it's good types of movies, but this one reminded me of a so bad it's good, not even so bad it's good, but just a bad low budget movie that you would see come out today, which most of those aren't that good and don't really have the charm, and that's kind of what I got out of this movie. I gave it a 2.5 out of 10, just saying. Then after that, I watched The Conjuring 2. Revisit for me, I just watched The Conjuring 1 recently as well, and I only saw The Conjuring 2 one time. I didn't see that one when it first came out. I watched it for the first time Oh, yeah, I did. We saw it at the drive-in, so no, I didn't see it when it first came out, because I'm bad at paying attention. Remember, it was super dark.
Yeah, you didn't really pay attention to the move.
No, it was super dark. You too. It was super
dark,
move, I recall.
But I still watched the move.
You did not watch The Move. We both did not watch The Move.
Yeah, we saw The Shallows and we saw The
I feel so
Conjuring 2.
stupid.
Why?
I feel so stupid. Just, can we delete the channel?
No, dude, it happened to me
Please.
like last week. Remember when I was like, oh, I've never
Oh yeah,
seen...
the Martyrs.
Yeah, and then I'm putting ratings on the website, and I go and look, and then I even reviewed it on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're both stupid. But yeah, okay, so The Conjuring 2 I saw at the drive-in, and I barely paid attention to it. And I rewatched it a few years later on DVD, and I enjoyed it. I think you actually bought me the DVD, and so I watched it again the other night, and this was probably the most attention I ever paid to it, and I actually thought it was pretty fantastic. I think I enjoy it more than the first one now. This one runs a long time. It's like 134 minutes. And honestly, for the most part, I think that's all well deserved. I think it actually kind of benefits the movie where the first Conjuring kind of gets to the point a little bit faster. This one gives you a little bit more with the Warrens and just the investigation into this household, gives you a little bit more with the family and the kids and all that, and I think it actually kind of benefits it. Towards the end, I feel like there was moments where I'm like, okay, I feel like it's time to kind of wrap it up a little bit, but other than that, I think it works well as the slow burn that it is. I enjoy the setting of it as well, just like this house. It's not in the middle of nowhere. It's a house, obviously, just on this main stretch. It's just kind of in the suburbs. There's a lot of houses around it, and it happens to be haunted. I think this movie is actually bit creepier than the first one as well, with the person that's haunting their house. I think he's just super terrifying, and yeah, I had a good time with this one. I think it's very solid, very good atmosphere in it, and creepy one. Like I said, I think I like it more than the first one now, so I'm glad I finally gave it the full attention there. And then after that, I watched The Crazies, which I'll actually be doing a podcast with Mr. Derek tomorrow on this movie, but that was the first time watching me. It's the original Crazies with, George Romero's The Crazies, and it was a first time watch, and I thought it was interesting for sure. I don't want to give all my opinions here, since I'm going to be doing a show on it, but it's just, there were some eerie moments in it that were super relevant to what's going on now. Not even just, it was just certain dialogue that was said reminded me a lot of what's happening right now, so it was very, very strange, and yeah, that was an interesting one. And then lastly, finally, I watched Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. That's the other one that I'll be recording tomorrow, and again, that was a first time watch. One I was always kind of curious on, and I won't say too much on it, but I enjoyed it. I thought it had some good moments in it, and I like the setting, I like the characters, and I dug it. So that is all for me, and I am actually at 99 watches for the year, so almost to 100. Yeah. You're
just a little bit behind me. I kind of sped up a little bit, but okay, so you said what is Sleeping Corpses Lie? Is that a zombie movie? What's that about?
Yeah, it's pretty much a zombie movie. Yeah, it's about, there's like murders going on, and this cop's like, zombies, they can't be real, and there's like one. It's not like a million zombies coming at you type of movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of done a little bit different, so I dug it for that. Because I'm not a huge fan of zombie movies, but there's like one zombie in it that's kind of like the central focus, and it was cool because, like I just said, I don't really like zombie movies that much, like the basic ones where it's just a bunch of zombies and it's like, oh, the end of the world type of deal. So this one was a little bit different. I like when they do unique stuff.
Okay.
So.
All right, so first up for me, I watched 1961's The Innocents. That was a Patreon pick from Tyler Taddeo, which I'll be doing on the next 22 shots. I think he probably gave it to us since you reviewed it, and then, he'd been following this podcast, and he knows that we talked about The Turning, which is based on the same story, The Turning of the Screw. I watched 3 films from the 60s, and that was my least favorite. I thought that it was good. I think I can see why people consider it a classic and stuff like that. It has very creepy atmosphere and probably was a pioneer in the haunted house genre. I think The Haunting came out before it in 56 1986, I want to say, but you know, this is probably one that influenced the, haunted house genre too. I thought there was that really creepy scene that you mentioned with the ghost across the lake thing. Or the pond. That is really creepy. The atmosphere is good and thick. I like the giant house. You know, I love the house. I saw somebody describe it as something like the house that's bigger at night or something like that. You know what I mean? The house that feels bigger at night, which is true. Like all the haunted house movies always feel bigger at night. I just think that the only thing that I don't really care for is the plot. I don't know if it's just this story, because I've seen it a few times with the turning, and like I know that it's a popular adaptation. I just don't think I like the story that much. The whole like possession thing, and this one's ending was kind of a little bit weird too. So
yeah, it's got one of those abrupt endings. It was kind of the times.
I'm kind of at like a 7 or something, 7.5. And then
fair enough.
Yeah, I know people are probably gonna be like, "What? It's an absolute classic," but whatever. Yeah. That's my opinion. After that, I watched my 99th movie, so right where you were, Slimy Little Bastards. Mr. Parka's directorial. Was this his debut? I don't know. His feature debut, maybe. It is a anthology film where there's this guy who's telling stories about these slime ball creatures, and it has Dustin Mills in it, Brandon Salkill, Aaron Ryan. These are people that you've seen in Dave's videos before, and it is an anthology, so it's completely no budget, do it yourself stuff, so I'm not going to be too hard on it. It's definitely looks cheap especially the first monster really cracked me up, like how they filmed the the killing. I think of Jeremy, and but there's some funny dialogue in it with like this dude not knowing what juggalos are and stuff like that, and it was really funny to bring that into there that I really liked. And I'll give Dave props for doing some interesting camera shots too, with the camera, so that's pretty fun. But I can't say that it's a great movie, but I definitely was happy to see it. I think no budget movies are so charming, and honestly it makes me like, when I watch them, I'm like, okay, I could probably do something like this, you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe one day I'll actually like do it, because I always wanted to just we used to all the time when I was a kid make short films and stuff like that and skits, and maybe I just need to start doing that one day. So it's inspiring. So yeah, I think I gave it like a 3 out of 10 or something like that. Sorry, Dave. But I did like it. It was free on YouTube. Dave posted it for the coronavirus. Movie 100 was a TV movie from 1985 called The Bad Seed. I watched this in a Facebook group watch with Mike Merryman. And did anybody else stop in? I can't remember if anybody else stopped in during that, but I think it was just me and Mike on that one for the most part. But it actually was pretty good, It's about this little girl who is clearly a bad seed.
Bad seed.
They try to suggest that it might be a hereditary thing, which I thought was kind of different. I don't really remember the 50s version that much, because I watched it probably in like 2013 or something. So it's a long time ago that I've seen that one. But it was, this one was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. The little girl was like so great as a just not nice person. So I enjoyed that one. And then after that, 101 Terror on Tape from 1985. This is basically a clip show that just shows scenes from other movies, with a like video store worker intertwined between the clips. So he's like, people come in and he's like, here, this movie is about this and this movie's about this, and then they'll show clips from the movie. It was really fun, but it's completely non-essential viewing. You know what I mean? It's just a clip show.
Real other movies that show.
Oh yeah, like Deadly Spawn,
Ew.
To the Devil, the Daughter and the Devil, whatever the hell that movie's called. Trying to think of some other ones. Blood Feast, Herschel Gordon Lewis's Blood Feast. It's a couple of Herschel Gordon Lewis films, I think. 2001 Maniacs, was that the other one that was there? Yeah, some movies looked actually pretty cool that I wanted to see that I hadn't seen before. Some I had seen, so it was cool to see those clips. But it, like, I could totally see if, like, let's say a VHS company had put all those films out on VHS, this would be a good marketing tactic to show off their other films and sell this film as being a film. You know what I mean? So pretty creative marketing there, but you know, it's like a 5 just because it's like nothing, you know what I mean? But it was fun. Then I watched The Platform, the newest film on Netflix, which will actually be the feature of our Netflix and Chill episode, so check that out. I won't talk too much about it, just say that I did like it. Then another Facebook group watch, Thou Shalt Not Kill, except 1985, trying to just grind out those 85 movies. I didn't really care for this one that much. I don't think it's necessarily awful. It feels like a film that was made out of film school, which I think it was. It was part of that Bruce Campbell crew that all graduated together and went and made films and stuff like that. So Sam Raimi's in it. And I remember, I think in Bruce Campbell's book, he talked about this a little bit. So I didn't really love it. I gave it a 6. It's sloppy. It is definitely sloppy. But you know, it has that charm. But yeah. After that, I watched Supersize Me 2 Holy Chicken, Morgan Spurlock's second documentary featuring fast food. Have you ever seen Supersize Me?
No.
It was actually a really big documentary that came out in like 2004 or something. Morgan Spurlock decided to eat McDonald's for 30 days straight, and he documented it. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, McDonald's. If there used to be a thing called, do you want it supersized? They would ask you that in the drive-thru, and it was like it was like bigger than a large, you know what I mean? So everything would just be even way bigger. And you know, there, like, it really did change the fast food industry, because like you would go into McDonald's and couldn't find nutritional facts on any of the food, but then it became like mandated that you had to have that stuff. I mean, I think you always had to have it, but it just was not regulated. I remember I watched that documentary back in like 2004 when I was like a kid, and I thought it was really interesting. So this one's a little bit different. It's just about the fast food industry and how like the farming industry is with that, and like how a lot of it is like just misguided, and fast food places aren't honest, and the marketing side of things. It was actually very interesting. He decides to open his own restaurant, a fast food restaurant, but be completely honest about what he's selling. And yeah, it was interesting, but I don't know if at first I thought it was just gonna be a sales pitch for his restaurant, but he actually ended up being pretty honest about everything, so I liked it. Gave that like a 7.5. And then after that, we had Grizzly Man. I watched Grizzly Man, another documentary. I had seen this film before, a long time ago when it came out, probably 2006 maybe, and I've always wanted to revisit it. It's an incredible documentary about a man who goes out into the Alaskan wild and pretty much lives with grizzly bears, and he names them, he talks to them, he cares for them deeply. But as the film goes on, it's a Werner Herzog film.
Werner.
Yeah, I think the W makes the V sound in German.
Oh yeah. Well, wait. I thought
Werner Herzog.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm such bad at language, so. So yeah, the thing that is so incredible about this film is that it's a character study, man. It shows this man who had so many issues. Like you could tell in his previous life of just being a regular normal citizen, he had major issues. He was an alcoholic, a bad alcoholic, and he struggled with his ability to connect with people. He mentions that several times throughout his film about not being able to connect with women that well and stuff like that. And you hear testimonials from people that he was involved with, and it's tragic that this man who was searching for purpose, you could tell that's what he was doing. He was searching for purpose. He wanted to feel important. I'm not necessarily sure if he wanted to look important, cared if society saw him as important, but he definitely wanted self-purpose. And he sort of was misguided in contradictory in some of his beliefs, which the filmmaker Herzog points out, and I agree with him. But when you strip away all of that, you strip away all that stuff, you could tell that this man had like an incredible heart for and passion for these animals and stuff like that. And it was misguided in a way, and it was blinded in a way. And I think that's ultimately the cause of his death. But it is this dude captured, I couldn't believe it. Some of the footage he captured, it was just like magic. It's like magic. It's what people hope for and dream of, like capturing some of this footage, like with the foxes and stuff. It's amazing. But there's some funny moments in this film, like because he has like a flamboyant voice. Like you would think that he might be gay just based on like stereotypes, but he even talks about not being gay, which almost made me think like maybe you are gay, dude, and you're like hiding it, you know, because the way he was talking about it and stuff, where he's like, I wish I was gay, you know, and we're like, wait, did he know we were accusing him? Like, but he's like, he'll just be like, dude, I'm gonna cuss for a second, but he, like, this fox takes his hat and he's like, I forget the fox's name, he's like Silver or something, and he's like following it through the woods, and he's like Silver, come back. And he's like dude, it's so funny. He's like took it to the fucking den. And he's just like, dude, it's really fun. Like his like when he cusses, it's hilarious. He says the F word a lot. But yeah, if you've never seen it, please check it out. It's on Prime for free. I think it might be on YouTube for free too, but so yeah, I watched Grizzly Man. It's pretty fun. Yeah. That's like a solid 8.5 out of 10. Maybe even a 9. It's so good. Then I watched another watch party, Biohazard. I gave this one, it's honestly like the production value is pretty solid on it. It's like a big, like it feels like a normal, like, you know, well produced movie, but the creature is so awful in this movie. It's like horrible. 1985, it's an Alien ripoff kind of thing. There's some like good boobage in it, there's like some good gore in it, but the creature, the most important part is like it reminded me of Power Rangers, like a creature on Power Rangers. And then it also reminded me of the movie with who played Henry? What's his name? Oh, come on. He's like
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker, yeah. It reminded me of that film with Michael Rooker called Hypothermia, which was like a decent movie until you see the creature, and then it's like, wow, this is so ridiculous. Like it's a rubber suited creature. Like it's just like you could see like where the costume like separates, and you could see like the person's leg and stuff. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
And then after that, we did a double feature last night on the watch party. It was me, Will, and Johnny Pendergrast. That's probably not his real name. I probably butchered his last name because I do with everybody's. But So yeah, the Biohazard was first, and then to wash the taste out of our mouth of Biohazard, we watched Naked Vengeance. Which, have you ever seen that? Have you watched that one yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, first of all, it is on Tubi, I think, or Prime, or one of those. Scream Factory put it out on a double feature Blu-ray with, I think, Vendetta. I don't own it, but it is an I Spit on Your Grave ripoff. So it follows a woman whose husband is like, it almost reminds you of like Death Wish or something. Her husband's like attacked and murdered in the streets. And she moves back to her hometown where literally every single person in this town is rapey as F. Like every person she comes in contact with, like 7-8 people are like, you know, trying to bang her basically. And she's like not having it, obviously. And, you know, she tells the police that there's people are harassing her and stuff. The police waves it off. Then, you know, basically like 7 dudes, like I think it's 6 dudes like roll up to her house and basically rape her. And then she gets revenge. 2 of the kills are very good. Revenge kills. There's a burning and a drowning, which are very good. The movie itself is like so dumb. Like it's just so like nobody would do this stuff. It's just too over the top. Like there's just no way that anybody would. Like the decision making in this film is horrible. Like it's just very bad. But it is trash entertainment. We had a blast. Me, Johnny, and Will were having such a good time watching this. It was like the perfect film to watch in the watch party because we were all just like shocked at what we were seeing. But I can't believe I've never really heard people talk about this one because it's like the rape scene is like, it's not as like impactful or powerful as a film like Irreversible or I Spit on Your Grave or even Last House on the Left where it like hurts your soul. It's more exploitive and it just looks like ridiculous, but it's just insane because there's 6 people. So it's like, wow, I can't believe nobody really talks about this movie. But I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Cool. I'll have to check it out.
And then right after that, I got itching to watch a people hunting people film called Surviving the Game from 1994, which this is a regular watch for me. I usually watch it probably like yearly. It's a film that I used to watch literally in the 90s, like all the time. It always was on TNT. It was on Monster Vision a few times. It stars Ice-T, Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey. It honestly is one of my favorite movies. I guess I just never realized it. It basically follows Ice-T, who's a homeless man, and he gets recruited by Rutger Hauer to sort of be a hunting guide out in the wilderness for him, and he's gonna pay him like $500 a week. And Ice-T like decides to do it to try to get his life back on track. And when he gets there, they're like, actually, we're going to be hunting you, and they, you know, hunt him. But he's no ordinary homeless man. He's smart. So that's the movie. Gary Busey has like one of my favorite scenes in cinema, and that's when he tells the story of his bulldog Prince Henry Stout and what happened, how he got a scar on his face. He's like nuts, dude. Gary Busey is nuts in this film. He's full on Gary Busey. Like this, like when you think of Gary Busey being like, Gary Busey, like that, this is what you think of. This is full Gary Busey. Such an amazing movie. And it fit perfect because of The Hunt, which is also a people hunting people movie, which I wanted to try to squeeze in one people hunting people movie. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite. This is my favorite people hunting people movie. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Probably the highest I've ever been on it, but it's one of my favorites. Love that movie.
Nice.
That's
Very nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Lot of moves. Yeah,
so I guess we can now go into The Hunt. But first... the people hunting people thing, it's been around forever.
Mm-hmm. It has.
I'm sure it actually has been around forever. People have probably hunted people since the dawn of people.
Yeah.
Probably for food mostly. Cannibalism. But the sport of hunting people has at least been around since 1924. When I was in high school, was it high school? I think it might have been middle school. No, it was high school. It was high school. It was like 9th grade. No, it might have been middle school. I can't remember. One of the schools that I was in, middle or high, we read a story. Do you know what this story is called?
No.
Really?
A story? Like a book or a story?
Like a short story. Like, you know, you'd have a big book and it would have a bunch of short stories in it, like Edgar Allan Poe and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we read a book.
Setups, dude. What was it?
I just assumed every kid read this.
Well, maybe I would. Just let me know. I don't remember what I read in elementary school. That was probably elementary school.
No, not elementary school. It definitely wasn't elementary school.
Huh.
It was...
How are you then?
It was from 1924, written by Richard Connell, called The Most Dangerous Game.
No, I did not read that.
You've never read The Most Dangerous Game in school? What the hell did they teach you guys?
We read, like, The Landlady and, like...
What's The Landlady?
The Monkey's Paw. The Landlady's by Roald Dahl, whatever his name is. He also did a book called The Witches, as well as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He did a bunch of dark books, but... Yeah, we read multiple stories.
Is
buddy,
The Landlady about the taxidermy?
Yes.
I've read that one too. In school.
That was in middle school. I read that, but
yeah,
we read books.
This
just,
one
I don't remember that.
Middle school too. The Most Dangerous Game, I always remember standing out because it was middle school. I remember now for sure it was middle school. It was a film or a book about a dude who shipwrecks on a island, and on the island there's this rich guy, big game hunter, who got bored with hunting animals, so he actually bought this island and, you know, set it up to where people shipwreck there by, I don't know, confusing boats or something. I can't remember. And he basically tells the guy, like, yeah, I'm gonna hunt you, I'm gonna give you 3 days, I'm gonna give you a knife, or I'm gonna give you a couple hours head start, and I'm gonna give you a knife, and if you survive the 3 days, I'll let you go. If you don't survive the 3 days, then you're obviously dead. And he says that he, you know, and that's the title, The Most Dangerous Game. So it's a double entendre too. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Why is it a double entendre?
Stop!
What?
I wasn't paying attention. Because he was... I don't know.
Because it's a game. And it's a dangerous game.
Dangerous game.
Yeah. And then also... Game is, you know...
Meat.
Like,
Sport.
yeah, the hunted.
People.
Yeah, so it's a double entendre title.
Uh-huh.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yes. Pretty
and
cool.
that was made in 1924. And
crazy.
It was, you know, it was obviously a important film or important read because it it is popularly read within middle and high school curricula. Due to the strength and themes within the story. The first and foremost question of the story bears is that of justifiable murder. Rainsford justifies his hunting of animals because he believes that man is superior to animals because animals do not feel. To contradict, General Zaroff believes that men are superior because they also have the ability are able to reason. Zaroff uses his reasonings to explain why men are the most interesting game to hunt. Men can reason and thus provide a challenge that no animal can contend with. The story simultaneously highlights through the experience of Rainsford as he is hunted, the fears that animals must experience while being hunted. Yeah, pretty cool. I've always enjoyed the concept because I remember when we did that story, we talked about it. And we talked about like how, the animals, like obviously the humanity is taken away from them and stuff, that there is no humanity. They're not humans. And also, what it's, how killing a human being is like much more, traumatic and stuff like that. I remember just being like one of the first times like I was really into what we were talking about in school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, when you said about a story, I thought you were talking about the Hunger Games. Which is the most overrated book series I have ever tried to read.
Really?
I could not get through them. I did not understand what the hype was, but that's the big thing that comes to mind when I think of the hunting stuff.
Yeah.
And that was like popular when I was in high school.
Dude, yeah, I remember that being pretty dang popular, honestly.
Yeah.
So here is actually a list of some people hunting people movies. So 1932, we saw an adaptation of The Most Dangerous Game in forms of a movie called The Most Dangerous Game. And probably the first time we've really seen people's hunting people on screen. And then in 2000, we saw a interesting take on the people hunting people genre with Battle Royale. This is a film from Japan where the government takes over a 9th grade class and throws them into a jungle and gives them a random weapon each. And they have to fight each other and pick each other off one by one in order to stay alive. And if you stay alive the longest, you're the last one left, you're the winner. Sound familiar?
No.
What? Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Dude, are you paying attention?
No. I zoned out.
Okay. I said
it
Battle
sounds
Royale.
It sounds like The Hunt.
No, it sounds like The Hunger Games.
It sounds like Yeah, dude, I knew that. Everyone accused her of ripping off that movie, and she was like, I swear to God, I never even saw that film. I had no idea that film existed. Battle Roy what? Battle Roy who? That was a big thing back when those stories came out.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's like literally the same movie, except for there's like a dystopian future like raffle to get into the Hunger Games, while this is like they take a whole classroom. Yes. But Battle Royale 1 and 2 are both very fun movies. I've come around on them a lot more than I did when I first saw them. 1994 is Surviving the Game. We just talked about that one. Rich Men Hunt Humans Escapade, starring Ice-T. Why are they calling him Jack? In this article I'm reading, his name is... No, they're like, on the brink of suicide, Jack, aka Ice-T, finds salvation in the unlikely place. His name's Mason, unless it's Jack Mason. I don't know.
Maybe.
But they call him Mason in the movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Running Man, which I've never seen.
Me neither.
Then we have The Hunger Games, 2012, which follows Katniss Everdeen. I actually liked the first film. I like Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't think they're bad. I think I've only seen 1 and 2. I don't think they're bad movies. I just was kind of bored by the books. I don't know.
They were very popular to like teenage girls.
Yeah, me.
Oh.
That's why I tried to read them, and I was like, it was also like after the hype of everyone reading them, being like, you have to read these, and then I was trying, and I was like, I just can't get into this.
1965's The Naked Prey, which also explores the exploits of African colonialism. And then we have Hard Target, which is 1993, starring Van Damme. I've never seen that one, but I think that's on a list of movies I'm supposed to watch. Target's 1968, not really necessarily a people hunting people film, but more of a shooter film. Kind of like the University of Texas campus that was shot up by the dude in the tower. Kind of like that. So not sure why it's on the list. Interesting, Fortress 1985. So have you watched that one yet?
I have not.
Probably gonna have to check that one out. It's an Australian film. Turkey Shoot is similar to this one. Turkey Shoot was 1982. I think it made Jeremy's top 10 of 1982, and that's a people hunting people movie too. But I'm gonna have to check out Fortress. That sounds kind of cool. And finally, on this list here that I found is Series 7, which I've never heard of. But it's a survivor-like reality TV show, and but they must hunt each other to the death in order to achieve fortune and fame. So there are quite a lot of these people hunting people movies. I've seen a few of them. I've probably seen more that isn't on this list. But yeah, so gonna have to check out a few more of them because it is a topic that I do like. So with that said, let's go into the hunt.
Yes. Shall I read the synopsis?
Yes.
Okay. 12 strangers wake up in a clearing. They don't know where they are or how they got there. They don't know they've been chosen for a specific purpose. The hunt.
The hunt.
Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, it is about pretty much these people. They wake up in this clearing and they're all confused. They're all kind of scattered all over the place, and there's like this box in the middle of the clearing, and it looks like it's gonna like turn into the Hunger Games type of deal because they open the box and there's like all these weapons in it, and you think like, oh, it's gonna be like that. But honestly, the movie kind of turns the tables a little bit, and things, I don't know, like, would it be, I don't know if I'd be spoiling this movie by like talking about it.
What do you mean?
Like certain like, I don't know, it's just because it like it's not, I feel like it's not what you think it is, kind of.
What do you think it is?
Just like another Hunger Games movie where it's 12 people just like trying to kill each other the entire time.
Oh no, it's definitely not. It's people have put them there to kill them. It's not them fighting each other. It's people hunting them. It's like Hunger Games is like more of a battle royale like tournament thing, but this is like more of like along the lines of people hunting people, as in like there are people above this that are hunting these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler.
Okay, well, to me, I felt like the trailer for me like made it seem like they wanted the people to like hunt each other for the fun of it.
Most people don't. I don't think that matters.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's kind of what I thought the movie was going to be. So it kind of curveballed me there, and also I did not realize this movie was pretty much pure like satire, comedic. I
thought it was a serious movie, especially how it was marketed the second time with the poster that was like, pulled from theaters and stuff like that with the pig on it and like all the quotes and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be a completely different movie. Honestly, I would have preferred to see the movie that was on that poster, a more hardcore, like, it is violent, but it's comedic violence. It's comical, it's almost like comic-y violence, Yeah,
you almost can't like really get offended by it because it's like over the top type of, especially there's like a scene at the beginning that's just like super gory and bloody, and it's completely unrealistic and hilarious. So it's weird. I would almost compare it to like Ready or Not in a way, with the way the comedy plays out.
It's way more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
this is pure comedy. But... like, there's a certain point in the film where I'm like, oh, this is 100% a comedy first than anything else. I think that the comedy actually works pretty well. It just was jarring because I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know anything about this movie, other than it was like, people hunting people type thing. And I knew that it was political. Austin complained that, if you hated Black Christmas, then you should hate this film too, because of the political nature of both of them. And I couldn't disagree more. First of all, I don't think many people hated Black Christmas because it was political. It's not why, I think most people, I mean, there were some, but, intelligent critics who are actually reviewing the film. I mean, one of the most intelligent people that I know, Mr. Watson, he actually, hated the film too. It was his number one worst film of the year, or I don't know if you would consider that something to be number one about, but, and he agreed 100% with a lot of the stuff we said in Fresh Cuts when we were on. It's not that it was political. It was that it did not weave the political nature of the film into the plot in any cohesive way. It was jarring. It was, it was in your face. And, but that's not necessarily a breaking point for a film. It can be in your face, but does it make sense? Does it fit what we're seeing on screen? And does your message get, shown to the audience correctly? In Black Christmas, it didn't. It was contradictory almost at a point. And it was just, it was just not good in Black Christmas. I'm not going to go too into Black Christmas because, we did a whole hour podcast on that. But how it differs in this film is it was just weaved in a comedic way. This film is a comedy, so it felt natural, the political jabs that it was taking at both sides. And even if it was only one side, or if it was only the left, or if it was only the right, it would be fine, because the message doesn't necessarily matter what message you're sending. It's how you put it in the film. Was there funny jokes to be told about the way that these sides act? Yes. Did they tell the jokes? Yes. That is why it works in this film, and it didn't in Black Christmas. What they were saying in Black Christmas, they were not saying it with any type of finesse. In this film, whenever you have one of these sides being, made fun of, because of how ridiculous, like, some of their beliefs and contradictory their beliefs are, it's funny because it's true. It's true sometimes, and when you exaggerate it, it's funny. Exaggeration is funny. That's a lot of comedians exaggerate. That's how it's funny. In Black Christmas, whenever you're talking about this guy not believing this girl, no matter what she says, it's first of all, it's a comedy. So it's not a comedy. So it wasn't being played comedically. It was being played as like, this is how men and people in power listen to teenage girls who are sexually abused. So it's like, what are you trying to do there? You're not trying to make that scene funny, because that would make the whole situation lighthearted, which it's not a situation to be taken lightheartedly. You know what I mean? It's a situation that's supposed to be serious. So by doing it, what are you doing? So it's supposed to be serious, but it comes off fake and laughable and ridiculous. So they're not weaving what they're trying to say properly with the plot of the film. It's a comedy. It works because it's already supposed to be funny. It's just completely different. I couldn't disagree any stronger with what he said about that. If you hate this one, you should hate this one for being political. It's just completely differently made films. Do you get what I'm saying? I know it's kind of all over the place there, but do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I honestly agree. I think it's kind of a bold statement to try to say, oh, these should both be 0 out of 10s. No offense to Austin, but
wait, hold on a minute. What did he actually give this film?
I didn't even think he was that low on it. I think he might have gave it a 7 or something. I could have sworn he told me that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but you know what I mean? So it wasn't like it was like a favorable rating, and it wasn't like great or too bad, but yeah, and just the whole plot of the movies are completely different too. I mean, that one's supposed to be like a Me Too movement, like empowering women movie, and this one's just tackling completely different things. And honestly, Black Christmas is just a total cringe fest. The way they spoon feed you all the details and want you to see like, hey, look at what we're doing here. It just makes you feel stupid watching it. It's like they think you're stupid. And with this movie, this is just a straight comedy, which again, I kind of knew going into it was a comedy because Austin had watched it a few days prior to me watching it, and he had said he's actually the one who he said people were making comparisons to Ready or Not, which I kind of agree with those comparisons. Like, that movie's not nearly as comedic as this, but if I had to compare it to anything, that's what the same kind of comedic vibes I got from it. But
I don't see that at all. Not even a slightest bit for me.
Not the plot, just the funniness, especially like the ending, the way, I don't know.
Maybe that. But, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm not talking about anything to do with the plot. I just mean like the way comedy, it's
I just didn't see that movie as a comedy, so it's hard for me to compare it.
Ready or Not?
Yeah. There was comedic moments, but I don't consider that a horror comedy. I wouldn't label that film as a horror comedy. Would you?
See, I think... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be.
No.
Especially with that end, like that...
That ending is, like, it's darkly funny, but it's not a comedy. I don't think so.
Listen to me. Thriller / dark comedy, you lose.
I don't care what IMDb labels it as.
That's what it's supposed to be. Like, even that, like, it's over the top. Are you kidding? Dude, there were so many comedic moments. Like, that guy is sitting, like, trying to look up how to use a bow and arrow.
That's like the one comedic relief that I think of.
No, buddy. You just don't remember the movie. I didn't really
think it was a comedy. Honestly, I thought
Maybe
it had comedic moments, but I didn't think it was a horror comedy.
But anyway,
let's go back to this real quick. What?
Oh no, I lost my train of thought. I was just saying, like, yes, Austin is wrong, and it's just no, I was trying to say, like, I went into this knowing it was a comedy mainly right before going into it. If he hadn't said that, I would have went in completely blind. But him making that comparison, I was like, oh, do you mean, like, I was confused, and he was like, no, I mean, it's like straight up comedy. And I was like, wow, I thought it was going to be serious. And I didn't mind it, honestly. I do see, especially with that poster, it says like dangerous, a sick movie, violence, just all these horrifying words.
Nope, I think that's bull, and that's probably the biggest complaint about the marketing is it was just wrong. But honestly, dude, like, this movie is a good movie. It really is. It's a comedy though. Like, you can't take it seriously. In the opening, whenever, you know, this girl and all these people were getting these weapons, and they have the key thing, and then they start getting shot at, and like, immediately there's like a swerve in what you think the film's gonna be, like, you know, following this girl and her van. You know what I mean? Like, what happens there, and then what happens with the punji stakes, and then the landmine, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, this is remind me of Feast or something like that, like the opening to Feast, where they just keep misleading what's gonna happen. And then I think that, honestly, like, there is some great jabs at both sides of the political spectrum, you know what I mean? The left, the right, you know, the like, I love how they diss each other, like call this one person, she's like, shoot me, you snowflake. And I find, like, I almost feel like the left got it way worse. I don't know if you feel that way.
I don't know my politics.
Okay. I thought that this was going to be a movie hating...
You mean it's a jab? It's a jab. I know what you mean. You mean it's a jab on the elitists who are running the function? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Right. And they're more like, you know, liberals and stuff like that. So, I think they get it a little bit more than, like, I thought this movie was about like people hunting like MAGA hat wearing people. You know what I mean? I thought that's how it was being marketed. So and you know how I feel about President Trump. So I'm just saying that. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not.
But you know, I thought that but no, seriously. The thing with me is I can watch a film that completely stands on the opposite side of the fence of where I do politically or about any topic, really. You know what I mean? For example, the musician Eminem put out a new song a couple of months ago called Darkness, and it was a anti-weapon campaign. It was not pro-gun at all. And I loved it. I thought it was a great, powerful message that worked. It gave me chills and stuff like that. I am very, very, very pro-gun. So but it didn't matter. You know, I can look at your message and see the importance in it, or like how powerful it is, and still stand on my side because it's art, you know, and art, movies are allowed to have messages. It's not what the message is ultimately for me. It's how the message is presented to me that matters. Is it smart? Is it capable of, sort of being intelligent with the way that it displays its information, the way that it tells you its message? Or is it bullshit like Black Christmas and how it was convoluted and just so badly done? Like Austin is insane when he defends that film. I just think that it's garbage. It's just completely garbage. It's a garbage movie. This film is much more tactful with its messages, because its messages at the end of the day is all you people are dumb. You're all silly. You know what I mean? All politics are silly. That's the message. And it's a good message because everybody, the extremes of any side are ridiculous. You know what I mean? So it's funny to see them sort of poke fun at that. Like, you think you're safe because we just made fun of them? Nope, you're getting it next. You know, I love that. Like, nobody's safe in the room of what you believe in this film, because they take jabs at the people who love guns. They take jabs at, the people who are think that everything should be completely inclusive. They take the people who are like just the entitlement of some people. Like, dude, my favorite scenes in this movie is the whole final 15 or 20 minutes. I think that's the best stuff in the movie, like the stuff with the grilled cheese, the reveals in that scene. I actually found the lead in this film, the eventual lead, very likable. I was really into her. And then like the lead villain, I thought was just perfectly done, because it's like the scene where she's like, you people actually thought that we would hunt humans. And she's like, well, you are. And she's like, no, but before that. And I'm just like, dude, this is
she's
perfect.
Like, well, yeah, now.
Yeah, this is perfect. That's what sold me on the film. Like, at first I was like, while watching it, I was like, this is decent. But I got to that point, I was like, okay, I give you mad props because this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, watching it, I thought the same thing. It was decent. And then that final act I thought was really good. And I thought the comedy really worked. Throughout the whole movie, I really liked the comedy. I liked the part where she first goes or not even first go, but when you first introduced to that old couple running the mom and pop like shop or whatever that is, and just the dialogue between them, I thought was really funny and over the top and just stupid. Like, he takes a drink of that pop and she's like, no, that's poison, and he spits it out and she's like, it's so much sugar.
Yeah, exactly. It makes fun of everybody, even the people that are just like, watch your sugar, like watch what you eat, like those people, you know what I mean? It's funny.
Yes. But I really enjoyed the whole climax of the film, and I enjoyed the fact that this movie was completely opposite of what I expected it to be, actually, which sometimes that's can kill a movie for me, but I'm not super, like I said, the Hunger Games didn't really do it for me that much, and just the idea of people hunting people movies, for some reason, I am not super in hype on the idea, so going into this, I was like, it's just gonna be, blah, whatever, unoriginal, and I thought it was pretty original for what it does, and kind of how it turns out to be, so I did end up liking it.
All right, so, all right, let's go into our ratings, and then we'll talk a little bit about some reviews that are on Letterboxd. Me, I was at a solid 7 throughout the ride, and when I got to the end, I was like full point increase, so I gave it an 8.
Yeah, I'm kind of close. I too was at a 7, and I enjoyed that ending. Really kind of upped it for me. So, but I'm at a 7.5 on it. I think it's enjoyable, and that's that 7.5.
All right. So let's get into a couple of Letterboxd reviews. Somebody that I actually do follow, Shelby from over on YouTube. I follow her on Letterboxd. She posted a 5 out of 5 star review. I'm not even going to play around. This is my favorite thing I've seen in theaters so far this year. Literally, there isn't one thing that I didn't love about this one. The lead character was one of my favorite leading ladies I've seen in horror in a long time. The gore was top notch. I'm a sucker for survival horror, but this movie got me laughing too. I adored it. Can't wait to watch it again already. So, awesome, Shelby. And then I found a guy who rated it a 1.5 star on Letterboxd. With 103 likes to his rating. White people, ... What'd you say?
I said dang.
Yeah. I try to go for the popular ones or ones that we're friends with. White people, ... We really are the worst. Quoted by Dan, the character. I was really in the mood for a good political satire, but instead I got The Hunt. Let's start with this. There is a remarkably small amount of hunting that actually takes place in the film. Okay, right away, that just is a stupid point to bring up. Overall, the story gets off to an incredibly quick, almost too quick start. I disagree with that too. Is there ever too quick of a start? I mean, and then it begins to lose momentum, starting about 20 minutes into the story. The hunt culminates in a showdown that is incredibly unsatisfying with twists and turns that sink immediately upon delivery. The political satire is sparse and lame. The hunt attempts to skewer both liberals and conservatives, liberals more so, but with the depth and tact of the stupid post-credits scene for Vice. Dude, I didn't watch the post-credits scene.
Me neither.
Damn it.
I was going to sit through it too, and I didn't.
I wish the comedy was more clever and biting instead of super simple stereotypes that do nothing to challenge the current political structures. It sucks. As a horror tale itself, it's passable, but nothing special. I'd skip it. Honestly, like, to me, that dude's main point is the jokes didn't land for him. And if that's the case, I guess, that's fair. I disagree with, saying that the film started too quick and stuff. Like, that's not even a real criticism. You can't say that's... Why did the film start too quick?
And these are the types of movies that you want to, like, get going super... It's
and
like an
they
in-your-face
slow down
comedy.
later to tell you the backstory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's fine. I wish the comedy was a bit more clever and biting instead of super simple stereotypes. I mean, there are some stereotypes in the film, but it's played for comedy. So, I mean, I get what he's saying there, where he's like saying that he wishes that it would have been a little more creative. But I thought there was a lot of creativity in the like that moment where the dude's like all mad at the immigrants, and the immigrant like talks in a regular voice, and he gets so pissed off. Like that thing is really funny. And then unsatisfying with twists that sink immediately upon delivery. No, dude, that's like some of the best part. And the political satire is sparse and lame. Sparse means like not that throughout the film, right? Because yeah, that dude's totally wrong on that.
The entire film is all that.
Todd, that was reviewed by Todd, 1.5 star out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm actually curious to see what. Okay, Todd's favorite films are Phenomena, Do the Right Thing, Dogtooth, and Star Trek 4. So 1 out of 4 on there. Let's see. His average rating is kind of right where mine is, 2.5 to 3 stars. Let's see. He actually has reviewed some films here. I'm actually kind of curious to this now to see like what kind of films he's watching and reviewing. Oh, come on.
Review the move.
Recent reviews. Okay, here we go. So let's see. Let's find the first horror film on there. Gave it 2-star to Guns Akimbo. Okay, Carrie. 4.5 stars. All right, I dig it.
Yeah.
Phenomena, 5 stars. So, he likes horror movies a little bit. He's reviewing some other stuff there too, but nothing to... Halloween 2, 4 stars. Some Jackie Chan Rumble in the Bronx. The Hitcher, 3 stars. That's where you break it. You messed up giving the Hitcher 3 stars. Okay. The Hunt wasn't for him. I respect it. Disagreed with some parts of his reviews, but don't think it was too egregious in any type of way. Damn, he reviewed all the Fast and Furiouses.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so that is the letterboxed reviews, which I do enjoy doing. I think that's a fun little segment here. And that's it. I have no idea what we're going to do next week. Stay tuned for our episode of Netflix and Chill that's about to post covering The Platform. And with that said, I'm JP. You are
Harley.
And we will see you guys next time.
Peace.